Before the beginning, there was nothing. No earth, no heavens, no stars, no sky. Only the mist world, formless and shapeless. And the fire world, always burning. In Jotunheim, the home of the giants, is Mimir's well. Mimir, the wise one, the guardian of memory, knows many things. His well is wisdom. The ash tree grows between the 9 worlds and joins them each to each. The dragon Midhogg lives in these waters, and it is always gnawing at the root from below. At the edge of the flame stood Sota. He will go forth from Muspel with his flaming sword and burn the world with fire, and one by one the gods will fall before him.
Is out in the world now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Twitch today. We're Dark Horse Comics, and it's Wednesday. So that means it's New Comic Book Day. New comics are released in comic shops, and we're here to show off all of our new releases. And we have a lot of them, as we have had a lot of weeks lately. So my colleague, Daniel Chabon, is joining me today. Hey, Dan.
How you doing?
Thank you for coming back to once again co-host with me our new Comic Book Day release rundown. Dan, of course, edits a lot of our popular books, ones that you will surely know. Dan, can you give folks like a quick rundown of some of your current series?
All the Black Hammer Universe books by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston. A bunch of books with Matt Kent, who is the creator of Mind Management. All the Neil Gaiman books, Bprd books with Jill Thompson and Evan Dorkin. A bunch of books that aren't announced yet, so I'll be quiet about those. A bunch. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of what I'm working on.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for all of us, but it's good. It's good that we have all of these new and exciting series to offer folks. And so thank you again, everybody, for tuning in today. We're going to show off first some of our announcements that have happened just recently of things that are upcoming and are available for pre-order now. And then we're going to dive into all of the new releases. So as our regular viewers know, and welcome to anyone who is new and joining us for the first time, Dark Horse has been streaming live here on Twitch basically since the pandemic began, because we all started working from home. So this is kind of a new platform for us, but thank you for coming over to Twitch with us. Formerly, we were on Facebook Live once upon a time, but I'm glad that we have graduated from that. We often have special guests, creators, artists, writers, sometimes voice actors, like with the Legend of Korra live readings that we've done. So whenever we have those, we'll be sure to announce on our website and our social media. So check back soon. We'll have some more coming up later this month. So when we're ready to announce, you'll see that on our social website, etc. But we also always have the opportunity to let you guys kind of see behind the scenes with those of us who work at Dark Horse with folks like Daniel, who again is one of our editors. And you get to hear a bit about the process from our designers, from our digital art technicians. My colleague Allie was on here a couple weeks ago, which is really cool. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And we're going to give you a bit of a, behind the scenes rundown of all the stuff we're working on. Real quick, there is always a giveaway on our New Comic Book Day shows. So you can enter the keyword in the chat. That'll be announced momentarily. The keyword will be Killjoys, because we have a new release relating to that. And you only need to enter that once in the chat. Your entry will be counted. The prize is, as always, copies of the single issues that we're going to discuss and show off today. So you can enter that at any time, and we will draw a winner near the end of the stream. So stay tuned. And without further ado, we're going to start talking a bit more about some of our recent announcements and sales and all that good stuff. Oh, and before I skip over it too, so as I said, everything we talk about today is new in comic shops. Books can take a little bit longer, usually 2 weeks to arrive at bookstores and shops like Amazon. But we like to call out comic shops and where you can shop locally on these streams. So I'm going to let Dan kind of take that away, actually. Are there any shops you'd like to call out or websites?
Yeah, well, just a reminder of where to get stuff. All the books that we're discussing today will be available from comic shops. And in the case of graphic novels and art books, they're also anywhere you would normally buy books. So we encourage you to shop locally if you can. Many comic shops and bookstores are offering online ordering, pickup, or delivery right now. So check out comicshoplocator.com and indiebound.org. And those two places should be able to help you find shops near you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we've called out our own local shops many times on the stream because we are fortunate to have a lot of really good comic shops in this area, Portland, Oregon area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as Dan said, if you need some help finding one near you, Comic Shop Locator is a great tool. And I do strongly recommend you check out with your local bookstores too. A lot of them have all of our graphic novels and manga that you may not be able to find sometimes at comic shops. So it's a good second option. So we also offer digital comics, and we have a couple of digital sales running right now. One is to celebrate the release of a #1 that we're about to show off in more detail. So we're having a Resident Alien digital sale. Resident Alien is kind of a long ongoing series or a series of miniseries, which is kind of how Dark Horse tends to do things. Comics by Steve Parkhouse and Peter Hogan. And they are really excellent science fiction comics about an alien who basically crash landed on Earth and is trying to pass off as a human. He's kind of in disguise and learning to function amongst humans while trying to figure out how to get home. So we have a new mini series beginning this week called Your Ride's Here. And also the comic series as a whole has been adapted for a live action series on Sci-Fi. So that's going to be starting in January. Pretty exciting. It stars Alan Tudyk, who you would definitely know from, say Firefly. He's doing an amazing job playing the main character, Harry Vanderspiegel. You can check out the trailer and all kinds of other videos on our YouTube, also Sci-Fi's. So we're pretty excited about that coming up soon. And right now you can get all of the previous Resident Alien comics for just 50% off. Here's Rex to say hi and get in my space. All Resident Alien comics, 50% off, so you can catch up and see what the series is all about before the Sci-Fi series starts in January. And I'm going to say that Rex is excited about that. That's why he joined us.
Can you have a different cat for each title we go through?
I kind of could. I don't know where they are, and I'm not going to go get them. But yeah, Rex will lead us, and then we'll see. We'll see if we attract some more. But that's not our only digital sale.
Yes.
However, you should check it out.
We have another digital sale. It's a Hellboy and the Bprd digital sale. This one is to celebrate the new one-shot that came out today. We'll be discussing that later during this. That's called Hellboy and the Bprd, the Seven Wives Club. We're offering right now a 50% off all Hellboy and the Bprd comics digital sale. It's a huge sale with both Hellboy and all those related titles, such as Plague of Frogs. So you can find all those at digital.darkhorse.com. So it's good stuff.
There's a lot of comics on that sale. And if you have been wondering, where to start with Bprd or where, to pick up in the whole Hellboy universe, we have some new collections coming out soon that we're going to talk about. But this is a great sale to get you started on the kind of wider universe. To really get Hellboy's full story, you should read Bprd as well. Both, as Dan said, at digital.darkhorse.com. And our digital sales are mirrored also on sites like Comixology if you prefer to use their service.
Yeah, I highly recommend the Plague of Frogs stuff, though. So
yeah. That's I think most people's favorite Bprd. I don't know. That seems to be what I hear the most from people.
When it gets to this arc and you probably have to read most of the Plague of Frog stuff before, but that's only like maybe 4 volumes before. Garden of Souls is one of the best comics I ever read. So
I actually have those in single issues.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Like lucky to come across like a whole bunch of them at Rose City Comic Con one year when it was still like in the basement of the DoubleTree.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky when I started at Dark Horse, which now is over 10 years ago. I got to start on the kind of tail end of Guy Davis's run on those books.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he was doing right before King of Fear, if I can remember what it was, like Scorched Earth is like right when I started at Dark Horse as an assistant. So it's kind of cool to work on some of those part of his run. So
that's really cool. Yeah, Guy Davis, his Bprd work is just fantastic.
Yeah.
If folks who are watching now have not read it, again, check out the digital sale, and then you could kind of try them out and see what you think. But yeah, the Guy Davis.
Yeah, time to stop.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to show off some new collections that are coming out soon, just in a minute here. So you'll have some more options if you do like Bprd that you can check out soon. So I'm going to go through a few recent things real quickly, and then we're going to dive in a little more depth into some of those other recent announcements. But some big stuff has already happened this week, even though it's only Wednesday. First of all, yesterday morning, you might have seen, we were able to announce with Netflix that Umbrella Academy has been approved for a 3rd season. Yay! I don't think that was really in question ever, but now it's official. It has been greenlit and production will begin in early 2021. So we don't have a release date yet, but very exciting that we are confirmed for a season 3. And we've been able to share these initial character portraits of all of our Umbrella Academy babies looking very dapper. It's like, to me, they look like school, like senior portraits or something. First day of school. So season 3, pretty exciting, coming to Netflix. The season, like the live action adaptations are definitely kind of, it's an adaptation of the comics, right? So it's not going to follow them exactly. We've seen elements already of like our 3rd volume of the comics come into these, but Dan knows about this because he is the editor on the Umbrella Academy. Mm-hmm. Have you seen like their teasers coming out? Have you been paying attention to those?
For season 3?
We don't have like video teasers for 3 yet, but Gerard has talked about it a bit in like interviews and so forth.
Oh, no, I haven't then.
They tease, well, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't go into any more detail for now. But season 3 has been approved, and look for more news about that coming up. We'll definitely keep sharing it on our social media and all that good stuff. So pretty exciting. And also yesterday was the release of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is another partner of ours with Ubisoft. And we have, what you're seeing now is the first issue of our comic series. That's available now. Second issue will be out pretty soon. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Song of Glory is the full title of it, and it's kind of a prequel to what you are going to experience in the game. We also have an art book, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, coming out very soon. So that's the cover art you're seeing now with the female version of Ivor on the cover. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful, and I am very excited to be able to show it off coming up very soon on one of these streams. But so that's kind of timed this month with the release of the game. So if you've been playing the game, I hope you've been enjoying it. I confirmed 2 very important things to me, which are 1, that you can pet the dog in the game, and 2, that you can actually recruit a cat to be on your Viking longship. So the most important things in a video game. And yeah, so we've shared some clips on that here on our Twitch, actually, of like the cat getting in the boat. So if you also do that in the game, I would love to see your clips. Actually, you should share those with us, or yourself petting the dog. So that's the important Assassin's Creed news. You heard it here first. We also have been getting some American Gods season 3 updates that Netflix has been sharing, so you can see those on our social media too. Pretty exciting because we published the American Gods comics adaptations, of course. And Bill and Ted 3 arrived on Blu-ray this week, also yesterday, because yesterday was the day that everything happened. So Bill and Ted 3, which we publish comics and other items for as well. So we'll talk about the latest issue of that actually in a moment here. But I did finally get a chance to rent and watch it, and it was really fun. I enjoyed the movie a lot, and the comics are a prequel also to that movie. So we'll talk about that more in a moment. But to round out my initial announcement burst here, we also had a very big announcement yesterday with our friends at Critical Role. We are really happy to announce a new ongoing line of books. They're graphic novels. They will all be a hardcover, and they feature the Mighty Nine. So the current season or series of Critical Role, all of those characters will each get their own volume in this ongoing series. We're starting with Jester, and then the second book out will be Caleb. And then all the rest of the party will each get their own volume in this series. And yes, that does include Molly. So you'll get both of Talison's characters, fear not. Each of the actors on the series are closely involved with these. So Laura Bailey, of course, consulted on the Jester book, and Liam O'Brien on the Caleb book. We have a different crew of creators who work on each one of them, including fan favorite artists who you will surely know if you're in the critter community. Selena Espiritu, for example, is on this Caleb book that we're looking at now. Sam Maggs is the writer on the Jester book. So a lot of folks that you will know, art that you will recognize, their origins, so kind of background stories of each character in the Mighty Nine. And you can find pre-order links and more details about all of them on our website. Both Jester and Caleb are available for pre-order now. They'll be available in 2021. So you got a little while to wait, but we'll continue to share updates and news for you on our website and on our social media and with our friends at Critical Role as we get a little closer. So super exciting. Go check them out, and something fun and new for all the Critical Role fans out there. And again, I just want to stress those aren't single issues that you need to collect like monthly. As I said, they're graphic novels. So each one is a hardcover book, a volume all in its own, and you can just collect each volume when they come out. So I know sometimes it can be a little confusing with different editions and so forth, but just the one plan for these. So yeah, check that out, darkhorse.com. It's on our homepage, and you can get all the details there as well as on Critical Role's website. And with that, I'm going to let Dan tell you some other cool announcements we got.
Yeah, so we just announced a new Hellboy series. It's going to be 4 issues long, and then a trade collection. It'll be called Young Hellboy: The Hidden Land. This series is co-written by Mike Mignola and Tom Snagowski. The artist on is Craig Rousseau, colors by Dave Stewart, and letters by Clem Robbins. In this one, it's just a young Hellboy adventure with Professor Broom, and they're on a monster island. What else do you need, people?
It's got everything.
Yeah. There'll be variant covers in it by Rochelle Ragno, Wiley Beckert, and Anthony Carpenter. And the series launches February 17th. So pretty soon. But yeah, fun young Hellboy adventure. And hopefully after this, we get teenage Hellboy.
Every time I look at the cover art for these, it makes me think of New York Comic Con last year. There was a younger person who was in full cosplay as young Hellboy, and it was so good and also terrifying. Like young Hellboy with the fully yellow eyes.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
He had like yellow contacts in or something.
Something like they had professional makeup artist team, so they were completely red with completely yellow eyes. Like it was uncanny. There's definitely photos.
Sound comfortable.
Yeah, like they kept coming back and posing, and so all these people were taking pictures, and it was cool, but also like I knew the reactions were definitely mixed.
Yeah.
Like, cool, but also super creepy. So, but I don't know. That's kind of Hellboy too, I guess, in a nutshell.
Yeah, I miss conventions. Why are we talking about conventions?
I know. That's another thing about us being, doing these streams on Twitch. We're trying to bring you content and showcase our creators and our partners and our collaborators and all the folks that you would normally get to see at conventions, at panels and signings and all that kind of stuff. And at least we can do some of that here. We do live art with creators sometimes. You get to chat with all of us who work at Dark Horse, who you could come and see at our booth normally. So we're trying. Hopefully you've been enjoying our streams and our live readings, like with Cora, and our art, like with the Black Hammer and Bill and Ted artists. And we're going to keep on doing more of those, like I said. And again, we will be announcing some more streams coming up that will include some of our special guest artists and so forth a little bit later this month. Most recently, we had the whole Stranger Things, a bunch of the Stranger Things comics crew come on stream to do both a panel about the comics and also a live D&D game, because we just launched the comics, Stranger Things and Dungeons and Dragons. And Matthew Modine came on and joined us, which was hilarious. He, of course, plays Dr. Brenner on Stranger Things. So he had a few things to say about the kids.
You're not going to disclose those here?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you should.
Maybe after.
You should go and watch it. It's on our YouTube now. And we'll probably have another one coming up soon. So stay tuned. We'll announce when I've got details, but we got to finish the game. We got to finish our campaign, our D&D campaign. But we also have another Hellboy announcement. It's a pretty big week for Hellboy all around, actually. If you did not know, Hellboy has continued since, the main Hellboy series kind of concluded in Hellboy in Hell. And again, like we mentioned earlier, if you want to get Hellboy's full story, you really should read the Bprd also. Hellboy in the Bprd kind of shows what happens essentially in the timeline after Hellboy in Hell. So that's something you should check out. But for now, what I want to tell you about are our new upcoming Hellboy Universe Essentials volumes. So these are new collections with stories that have been handpicked by Mike Mignola and others who have collaborated with him over the years. For folks who are looking for a place to start, or like the stories that they definitely most need to read, because we know there's a lot of Hellboy and a lot of Bprd and a lot of all of his other miniseries out there. So there will be volumes that cover Hellboy, of course, the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, which is the Bprd, and that includes Abe Sapien and Liz Sherman, for example. Lobster Johnson, who I know you've been waiting, fans, for more Lobster. So there will be a Lobster volume, and also Sir Edward Grey, Witchfinder. So all of these will be getting a collection. There will be 4 volumes total of essential Hellboy universe stories, all selected by Mike and other collaborators. And each one will feature a new cover by Mike with Dave Stewart, of course, on colors. So I'll read the quote we have from Mike Mignola. In some cases, Bprd and Witchfinder, it was pretty easy to select the one essential book, he said. Hellboy was more complicated because there's so much ground to cover. In the end, we chose to go with a new collection of short stories rather than a single graphic novel to give more of an overview of the character. We chose certain stories that say important things about his background, but also some that just show what he does and how he does it. A couple of stories are in there just because they're my favorites. So there you have, Mike's synopsis of the Hellboy volume and the other essentials. This line will begin in July 2021, so it's up for pre-order now. The first volume will be Hellboy. It will collect The Chained Coffin, The Third Wish, Pancakes, yes, The Nature of the Beast, The Corpse, The Baba Yaga, A Christmas Underground, The Ghoul, and The Troll Witch. And then following that, the next volume will be the Hellboy Universe Essentials Bprd volume. That'll be out in November 2021. And then after that, we'll get into Lobster. The Lobster Johnson volume is due in March 2022. And then the Witchfinder volume will round it out in July of 2022. So when those are available for pre-order, you'll see them pop up on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all those other websites, comic shops as well. So pretty exciting new collections with new cover art that will help fans who are new or want to get into those things kind of find a place to start and pick out the stories that they like best. And yes, as I said, I'm happy to confirm that Pancakes will be included as a Hellboy essential, because it is essential Hellboy reading.
We should sell copies of the trade with like pancake mix.
So we have Stranger Things on the one hand with like waffles, and we have Hellboy on the other hand with pancakes.
Yeah.
And we have been toying with what we can do for that for a long time.
Yeah, there's definitely a crossover I'm seeing there.
Right. Is it like, I can't decide if it's like waffles versus pancakes or if they team up somehow.
There should be a team up one shot of Stranger Things Hellboy, and at the end, the kids and Hellboy have waffles and pancakes together. Done.
Love it. Let's pitch that and see if we can get all parties to go for it.
Just pitch comics here.
It's just a pitch session. So this is a brainstorm.
I like that idea. Ooh, okay.
We did a fun thing with waffles, at least when we were teasing the Stranger Things announcement, just in general, that we were going to start doing comics when that was coming up. And I think of course, there's a National Waffle Day as well as a National Pancake Day. So we did like a fun little waffle party at the offices and did some video with that, but plenty of room to do more waffles and pancakes content.
Cool.
I have a feeling like the comic pancakes, I mean, people love that, and it would definitely win a poll if it were just like, which do you like? And they're thinking of the comics. But I think overall, I just have a feeling that waffles would win a basic waffles versus pancakes vote.
Just in a random poll.
Yeah, like if we just asked which, either or, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see what the chat has to say, I guess.
I'm more of a crepe guy myself.
Oh, fancy.
That comes across the screen all of a sudden.
Too fancy. Like, yeah, I feel like crepes are like way too fancy for Hellboy too.
Yeah, we need like...
We'd have to have a third option.
Young Hellboy, I think we need French Hellboy. Let's go international.
One of the best things about Hellboy and the Bprd, actually, like the ongoing series that, the mini series that we keep putting out. So they each kind of happen in a time period, 1946, 1947, things like that. I really look forward to 70s Hellboy. Like, I would like to see Hellboy in bell bottoms, especially since autocorrect will forever change Hellboy to Bellboy.
But would he be a teenager at that point? His age is always kind of hard.
He grew up fast. He grew up real fast. He looks, I mean, like he's young and rebellious, but he doesn't look like young Hellboy like we just showed. He's not that little. He's like full grown Hellboy.
I'm still stuck on this crepe idea. Like maybe he already smokes cigarettes, so he can go there and have a crepe and kill some monsters while he's at it.
French monsters. All right, well, we'll see. Check back soon, folks, to see if we manage to get that one through. I don't know how Mike will feel about it. We do have some other cool Hellboy to show you, though, that is new this week, so we'll get to that. But yeah, so new Hellboy Essentials or Hellboy Universe Essentials collections coming. The first two are up for pre-order now, and that new Young Hellboy series that Dan was telling you about. Very exciting. Lots of cool stuff. Still happening and coming up soon for Hellboy fans. So don't miss any of those. You can find details about all of those at darkhorse.com once again. But we have a lot of other announcements too. It's been a busy time, you guys. So Dan, we kind of mentioned this one on a previous stream because it was announced a little while ago, but I thought it's one we're really excited about. So maybe you can tell folks some more about it.
Yeah, so we have a new series that's orderable now called Crimson Flower. It's by Matt Kent, who is the creator of Mind Management for Dark Horse and Bang, and also a new series through Boom called Berserker that he's co-writing with Keanu Reeves. And then it's drawn and hand-lettered by Matt Luzanowski. So we got two Matts on this project, which has not been confusing at all when we're working. And his art is amazing. He drew a great book for Ad House called The Freak, which was nominated for an Eisner, and then is colored by Bill Crabtree. And it's very much in the vein of Kent's hit series Mind Management, just about super assassins. This one in particular about a young girl whose father was murdered. And as she's trying to trace down who killed her father, she's learning of a big like sort of Russian super assassin training program where they use Russian folk tales to train the assassins, and it starts to become this big kind of surreal spy story. That's me kind of jumping around without telling you too much about the story, but it's really fun and it's worth ordering if you get a chance. So, and there's variant covers for each issue. So we have one by Portland comics artist Patrick Reynolds. It's colored by Lee Lowridge. There's a variant cover by Marguerite Sauvage and one by Tyler Bentz. So definitely worth picking up.
It looks really cool. I am pretty excited for it. I have looked at the first issue, but that's all. I try not to spoil things and get too far ahead of myself. So, but only Matt Kint could pull these very different themes together into one.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
It's a lot of fun. And the art is very unusual. Like, I don't know a lot of other folks right now drawing in this style. Or hand lettering for that matter right now.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of James Stokoe.
I could see that. Yeah.
And we did also announce another project with Lesniewski. So that one, you can talk about that too, please.
Just briefly, he has a original graphic novel that's orderable right now called Static as well. Kind of a post-apocalyptic Mad Maxy mutant sci-fi story. There's more details on our website, but definitely worth checking out as well, in addition to this one.
Yeah. So we'll keep on talking that up since they're both up for pre-orders now. So you'll see more of that on our social media. And again, both these are on our website, darkhorse.com, and all of our recent announcements. So lots of cool new series coming up. You should definitely check them out and get those pre-orders in with your comic shops. So many new cool things that we have announced recently. I'm going to switch gears quite a bit actually with this next one, but just today, if you haven't seen it yet, go check out our, again, website. It's like top of our homepage right now and on our social media too. But we announced at long last something we've been working on, very special, a new art book for Castlevania for the Netflix series specifically. So that's really, really exciting for fans of Castlevania. It's going to include never before seen illustrations of monsters, characters, and environments. It's, as with most of our art books, it includes commentary from the creative team for all of the seasons of the animated series. And it's just chock full of beautiful artwork from, concept art to final art that you see in the series itself and all that stuff I just mentioned that you haven't yet seen, that you had to peruse for the first time in this tome. As with all our art books, it's a beautiful hardcover edition. The cover art alone is gorgeous, which we're kind of showing off here. That's your first peek at it. Once we start getting a little closer to actual on sale, we'll tease out some more preview pages so you can get a peek at what is inside of it. But it's up for pre-order now, Amazon, comic shops, and bookstores. It will retail for $39.99. Pretty good deal for one of these beautiful art books. So Castlevania, the Art of the Animated Series was just announced today. And then in additional video game art books, this one isn't really a new announcement per se, but we wanted to let you know that there are 2 editions of the Final Fantasy 15 official works, which are both up for pre-order now. The standard version, so both will contain the same base art book, but you get a fancy edition if you want that includes some other bells and whistles, which I'm going to talk about in a sec here. But the main standard edition is, as always, an 8.5 by 12 full color hardcover art book. Again, retails for $39.99. It's up for pre-order now. It's 192 pages of all the scenery, the creatures, all of your enemies, all the characters, everything that you see in Final Fantasy 15. So this is our latest localized Final Fantasy art book. The limited edition is amazing. It's gorgeous. Like, we keep making, every time I feel like our designers and our like editorial teams have put together like the most beautiful deluxe edition of something, we top it with another. So this one is really cool. It comes in a whole like specially designed case, which includes an art, like the base art book, but with its own special unique cover to this limited edition. You also get an acrylic art display with, yeah, you can kind of see in the image here, like it's not a print so much, but it's in this acrylic stand. And then you also get a journal that is modeled exactly after the Lover's Notebook, which is used by Noctis and Luna. So for the hardcore Final Fantasy fans, the Final Fantasy 15 Official Works limited edition. I know it's kind of expensive, but it's because you get this special deluxe package. So you get the art book and all these other bells and whistles, things that you can display with your Final Fantasy collection. So both editions are available for pre-order now, and this will be available in March 2021. So you can check both of those out on our website, and again, available through wherever you would normally buy books and or comics. So both Final Fantasy 15 and Castlevania news for fans of those franchises. Pretty cool stuff. One other thing, I know we always have Avatar and Korra fans in our chat because you guys are awesome, and you probably joined us when we have done the Korra live readings. So what I will say is, though we don't have new Korra and Avatar this week, because we don't have a new one every single week, unfortunately. We did just have a special live event with Barnes and Noble. Jean Lun Yang and Faith Erin Hicks both joined a live stream yesterday to talk about their work on the comics, and they actually did some live art, so you can kind of see their art process and how they develop the characters for the comics. Both of them are writers, but it's cool to see them like try their hand at some of the art. They're better than you might think. They're better than I am. I do not draw, so kudos to them. So that live event happened yesterday, but the recording of it is available on YouTube now. And we will be sharing that on our social media some more, but it's also on our channel if you go to youtube.com and just check for Dark Horse. So that, if you were able to tune into it yesterday, excellent. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you missed it, don't worry, available on YouTube now. And whenever we have some more events coming up, again, we'll always announce those on our website and on our social media. So stay tuned. Always more good Avatar and Korra content to come. So again, though we don't have anything new to announce this week, there will be more coming up soon. The next book in the Avatar series, if you have not already checked it out, it's going to be about Toph. So you can find that on our website too. It's up for pre-order now as well. But that's your little Avatar Korra tidbit that I've got for you today. And that's a lot of announcements. So we're finally at the end of those. So let's talk about what's new. What is new today?
Resident Alien #1. You're right here. So this is soon to be a sci-fi television show. Did we mention and announce for that? Do we know when that TV show debuts?
We got an update. It was delayed by COVID, as everything was, unfortunately. But we did get an update from Sci-Fi. We've been sharing some teasers and things. Some new information came out around New York Virtual Comic Con earlier this year that the series will begin in January.
Okay, cool. So you're going to definitely need to pick up this new issue. Jeff Lemire calls the series one of the most charming and wonderful comics being published today. That's quite the endorsement. It's written by Peter Hogan and drawn and colored by Steve Parkhouse. Parkhouse does all the covers. And then in this issue, get ready, Harry's learned a lot about himself and the possibility that other aliens have been stranded on Earth too. He needs to figure out what to do with Honey, the only resident in Patience USA who sees him in his true alien form, as well as deal with his feelings toward Asta, his best friend. Harry's been stranded in a small town pretending to be a human doctor for so long, loneliness is bound to creep in.
Poor Harry. So like I said earlier, the series looks really, really fun. The live action series with Alan Tudyk. He's doing an amazing job portraying this main character of Harry Vanderspiegel. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's just good. It's just a good story. And the comics, I can't recommend them highly enough. Like you should definitely try the comics before you watch the show, just because they're so good.
I feel like if there's any fans out there who've read Concrete, it kind of has the same kind of heart and humor to it. So
definitely, yeah. As I mentioned before, they've been going for a while. So we had an omnibus collection come out recently, which collects the first Resident Alien, and that's a really good place to start. Probably the easiest one to find right now too, since the series is a bit older. So the Resident Alien omnibus, we had originally timed it to come out with the sci-fi series, of course, but then that got delayed due to COVID. So the book's out and you can get it and get caught up before the series begins. And we'll definitely have a lot more news and stuff to share once the sci-fi series gets going. But pretty exciting all around. I'm really happy for Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse that this series that's always flown a little bit under the radar is getting some attention now.
Are there any waffles or pancakes in this one?
That's a good question.
We're gonna have to cover this for each new release.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little research and let you know. If you watch the teasers that came out around New York Comic Con this year, so just about a month ago now, which we've got on our YouTube and Sci-Fi as well, if you want to go check them out. You can see Alan Tudyk, like he's, as Harry Vanderspiegel, he's learning to be human. So, he might try eating waffles or pancakes at some point. He's learning how to like have a human shape.
Yeah, it looks like there's definitely going to be some like diner scenes in there. So
yeah, I love a good diner scene.
I'm sure there's some breakfast happening.
Breakfast scenes specifically. Dear Sci-Fi, we need to know, will there be breakfast scenes and what will they consume?
No, it's like the best stuff in any movies or TV shows. Look at Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that breakfast scene. That. Good luck.
Speaking of Pee-wee, so for anyone who's joining us newer too, we always do a giveaway in each of these streams. And when Allison and Brennan, who are two of our like design team members, they joined me for this new comic book day run a couple of weeks ago. Allison pointed out that the stream announcement keyword, it's sort of like the word of the day from Pee-wee. So like whenever we talk about the giveaway, maybe we should all yell.
We could do that.
Keyword is Killjoys. Ah! Yeah. I don't know if anybody else really remembers Pee-wee besides us.
You are breaking my heart right now.
Hopefully.
I mean, doesn't remember.
I don't know. Like we're old
months ago. Thank you very much.
We're olds.
He was on a sellout tour. Actually, he's sold out every show that he was going to. So
I'm glad to know that Pee-wee still has fans. I know that Pee-wee is still popular.
Also was in a Dark Horse movie, Mystery Men.
True. We do get the occasional questions about Mystery Men and whether it will come back, actually.
Maybe. We did a Flaming Carrot not too long ago.
That's very true. Flaming Carrot.
Yeah.
Well, in definite pancake land anyway, we do have new Hellboy.
There you go.
New Hellboy this week. That's right. Hellboy and the Bprd. These are all 3 covers. I'm gonna we've got these, queued up for Gary, our awesome stream manager, to show you as well, graphic wise, but I want to hold these up side by side so you can see both Adam Hughes covers. So this is a one-shot, Hellboy and the Bprd, the 7 Wives Club, new today. This is the same team, this dream team of comics, Mike Mignola with Adam Hughes, who did another one-shot a couple of years ago, which happened to win an Eisner Award, Hellboy Krampusnacht. Really, I loved that one-shot. It's fantastic. Adam Hughes, of course, is more known for his art with the big 2 comics publishers, but his style on Hellboy is just fantastic. And so for both Krampusnacht and now for 7 Wives Club, we've done a variant where you get his full color cover art and then also a black and white version of Adam Hughes cover art. So you can get either or both, collect them all. I do. I like to collect all of these issues actually. And then of course we get a Mike Mignola cover with colors as ever by the amazing Dave Stewart. So 3 covers for you to choose from with Hellboy and the BPRD, the Seven Wives Club. Again, this is a one shot, so just the one issue. It's larger than normal. And this particular story is, as you would expect with Hellboy, very creepy and spooky, but also with the kind of humor and heart that Hellboy always brings. In this particular story, Hellboy comes to the aid of a girl whose ghost hunt has gone wrong, and a visit to an abandoned medical school reveals sinister layers to a grisly long ago murder. There's stolen cadavers, vengeful spirits, and more, all throughout this one shot. The art is very creepy and I love it. And Adam Hughes has given some great interviews, which we've been sharing on our social media as well, where he talks about all the research he had to do for the art in this and all the disturbing images he had to look at on Google to get the creepy hospital down. So you should check that out. Adam Hughes is hilarious and he gives amazing interviews. So it's always worth reading those. But I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say other than that if you like Hellboy, and if you've never tried Hellboy, this is really good. You should try it out. You should pick it up. Fans of Hellboy will love it. I think the team of Adam Hughes and Mike Mignola is just fantastic. Here's a little preview inside. You get a little peek.
Look at that sound effect.
Yeah.
Am I weird, or is that subtitle, is that from the First Wives Club? Or am I just weird?
I don't recall, honestly, like if that has come up or not. Perhaps. Probably if Mark Tweedale is watching us today, he probably knows off the top of his head.
Mark, help us out. Yeah. I saw the First Wives Club in the movie theater when it came out with my brother. Probably like the least, not the audience. I don't think that movie was marketed towards, like 13-year-old boys, basically.
I love that you went to see it though. Also, do you remember theaters? It's been a while.
Yeah, that's one of the things I miss the most right now is going to a movie theater.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Hollywood Theater.
Seriously. Yeah.
Back in that theater. So
a lot of us at Dark Horse, we are known for publishing horror, and a lot of us also love horror movies, which, yeah, our local Hollywood theater is a great place to catch vintage ones as well as new ones.
Yeah, they usually do that all night horror movie marathon. And so this is the first year that I wasn't able to do it. So I just did it at home. So watched 4 movies back to back from basically 9 to 9.
Wow. You did your own marathon. I didn't do a marathon, but I did each day leading up to Halloween, I tried to watch at least one horror movie. And I mentioned this on a couple streams ago, like closer to Halloween, but I was having a really hard time finding movies that I hadn't already seen that I want ones that actually scare me.
Yeah.
And those are rare because only certain things kind of like actually scare me. But Evan Dorkin, of course, came through with a lot of good recommendations.
Watching these with your lights off and your cell phone off, because that's part of it too.
Yeah, I definitely missed the experience of being in a dark theater and like having to focus solely on the movie instead of being distracted at home by my phone or whatever it might be. Like I did a couple of watch parties with friends of some of the horror movies, and like The Orphanage was one, and I want to watch it again now with no distractions, just focusing solely on it because I was a little distracted by chatting with friends while we were watching.
That's definitely one of the big things. Like watching Hereditary in a theater with no one talking and the lights off, scary movie. Watching it at home, like people might laugh and some of the crazy scenes.
What were Evan's recommendations? I see someone asking. There are a lot, and I won't remember them all off the top of my head. It was like a Twitter conversation we had though, and he's got a podcast where he talks about horror movies all the time. So I knew already that he would have lots of good recommendations. The Orphanage was recommended by Jody Hauser and a lot of other people, so I watched that one. Session 9 was another one that was recommended. I watched that one. I liked it. I wanted more though. I wanted more creepiness.
Evan plugs One Cut for the Dead a lot too. I don't know if he recommended that to you. One Cut, possibly. I'm trying. The ones I ended up watching, because of course then I had to be able to find them too on services that I have. I rewatched. Let's see.
No, I'd already seen The Grudge. I watched that again. What else? A lot of like Japanese and Korean horror movies for sure. Dark Water was another one. It's pretty good. Shudder, the original. I liked Shudder, probably the best out of all of them. That was one of his recommendations.
Shudder the movie? Huh.
Yeah, Shutter with 2 T's, not Shudder.
You want to see a real interesting horror movie, and don't look it up, just watch it. You should check out this movie called Society. Please don't look it up.
Okay.
Just watch it.
Will do. Yeah, I'll have to, I don't want to pull up yet another tab right now to see Evan's full list of recommendations, but the ones I just named were the ones I found and watched. There were like a couple that I had a harder time getting, but like Session 9 was elusive for a minute, but I think it had been taken off Netflix and then was put back on. So that's where I watched that one. Oh, I'm too excited about horror movies and now I'm losing my voice. Anyway, I'll find him and I'll retweet his tweet because yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in there for sure. And I intend to keep watching more, but I ran out of time before Halloween struck. So
you got some horror sound effects going on back there.
Oh yeah, can you hear Rex? He's howling.
Yeah.
He's getting old and doesn't really always know what's going on, so he just makes mystery sounds sometimes.
He sees the ghost that you don't.
Yeah. The keyword for those asking in the chat, the giveaway is Killjoys. Once you've entered it once, your entry will be counted, and we'll draw a winner near the end of the stream. So you can keep entering that if you have not already done so. And yeah, so Hellboy and the Bprd, 7 Wives Club, one shot, new today in comic shops. These are hefty single issues, and I hope you pick them up. You can get one of 3 covers or all 3, like I do, because I like to collect them all. Get the Mignola cover as well as the Adam Hughes covers. They're a great team. Their work is just fantastic, and I'm happy that we got to do another one. So don't miss it in comic shops now. Yes, I know a common question is, will they be collected? We don't have details yet, but all of these will be collected eventually. So when we know which collection it will appear in, we will tell you. Yeah, so we've got some more exciting comics to show off, though. What do you got next, Dan?
We got a new issue of Bill and Ted Are Doomed. This is issue number 3 you're holding there. One of those covers is by Evan Dorkin, and the other one is by Veronica Fish, who drew Blackwood, also written by Evan Dorkin, and that's their creator on series. So this is issue 3 of 4, and then it's got these cool like decals on this Trapper Keeper looking thing on the variant. So in this one, Bill and Ted are on a quest to figure out how to write the one song, and during it they end up in basically like Sweden at a death metal concert and end up causing some trouble. And I can't say too much more because I'm gonna save the whole plot of the comic. But this is the official prequel to Bill and Ted Face the Music and the sequel to Bogus Journey. So this is part of the Bill and Ted canon. So if you were a big Bill and Ted fan, you're gonna want to pick this up.
It's really fun.
Yeah. We need fun comics right now.
Yeah, we need, like, we don't get a ton of humor comics anymore, I feel like.
Yeah. There's a pandemic going on, people. You should be reading Bill and Ted and watching Great British Bake Off.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Dan and I are both fans of the Bake Off.
Yeah.
Also, I would say if you're a Metalocalypse fan, this series, now that we're in the death metal like concert part of the plot, it reminds me a lot of that, of course. Definitely like a satire of metal. For those who don't know, I have 2 chinchillas as pets, and they are named after Metalocalypse characters, Pickles and Toki Wartooth. So
but do you have Rob Halford's new book?
No.
Doing the podcast rounds right now.
So yeah, this is a fake band. It's not actually like depicting any one band that actually exists, but it's definitely like a satire of general metal, and it's really good. Evan is a master of the humor, the satire, and an old hand at Bill and Ted, having done the original Bill and Ted comics back in the day too. So it's really fun. I really enjoyed this
I
issue.
remember some of the metal bands he created in that one.
Oh yeah. Well, this one is Vile Empire.
Yeah,
the main one.
you had a good clown one in there.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to tell too many details without spoiling anything, but you should pick these up. They're really fun. Get them at your comic shop. I think also, so we have some Bill and Ted merch available too for the movie, and one of the enamel pins is basically this design.
Yeah.
And you got some Wild Stallions merch as well. There's pins and magnets and things like that. You can see those on our website too. I love this design, like an old Trapper Keeper, though. That's very clever.
Did you ever have a Trapper Keeper? I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, of course. Mostly I had like Lisa Frank ones though, because of course. Dolphins, unicorns.
Trapper Keepers, I know that there were those folders, but weren't there also Trapper Keepers that were like boxes with like, I remember like seeing like a Hello Kitty one where you could like push a button and like something would come out and there'd be like crayons in it and stuff. I might be thinking of something completely different.
I remember, like, it's weird, but I actually am remembering a commercial with something just like what you described.
Yeah, just like lots of compartments.
Yeah, super into all those things. I mean, like, I didn't get to have most of them, but I wanted all of them as a child. I also had like Yikes pencils, if you remember those.
Yeah, we had all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
Kids these days, now they just have USBs. This is
I don't even know. Yeah. Well, if you also have some nostalgia for for 90s, 80s, 90s school supplies. I like that also we got away from any licensing issues by calling this a Crapper Keeper.
Yeah. Don't sue us, please.
It's totally different. Completely different. The C
totally different.
Well, we also have another little comic by some people you might have heard of. This is the new Killjoys by none other than Gerard Way, of course.
You said Killjoys.
Killjoys. That's right.
That's right.
I said the magic word, the word of the day. Everybody, we should get a custom thing for the chat or something where everybody can like put their hands up or something. So Killjoys, they're back. It has been a little while, but we are very excited to have this new Killjoys series. This is the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys National Anthem. This week is issue number 2. And we have 2 variant covers for each issue. The Leonardo Romero cover art for this one, it's almost like too much for me. I look at it for a while and I'm like, whoa, now I feel sick. But Leonardo Romero is also the interior artist for this series. He does an amazing job. The co-writers are Gerard Way and Sean Simon, just like with the first series. Lettered as ever by the amazing Nate Picos. Colors by Jordi Belair. And Daniel is the editor on this series. So I feel like you, more than I, should tell people a bit more about it, if you don't mind.
Making me do all the explaining.
Do all the work.
So this series is totally different than the previous Killjoy series. The last series was almost more of a sequel to the album, and this one is more of what was the original concept of Killjoys before the album was done. So this is more of like what Gerard and Sean kind of would just like talk about back and forth with what the characters should be when they were originally creating it. Hopefully that's the easiest way to explain that. I feel like I went on a little tangent there. But anyway, so it's the original concept that Killjoys was based off of. And in this one, there's a lot of mind control. The main character, who is part of the Killjoys gang, Mike Milligram, kind of wakes up from that mind control and tries to reassemble the Killjoys team. So in each issue, he is picking up one of the team members to kind of take down the bad guys in this. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. If that was
a lot of Mike Milligram.
It's really fun. That art's, his stuff's insane.
I love a fake ad. There's a good fake ad panel.
Yeah. Leonardo Romero's art's beautiful. He's going to be doing a lot more of us. But it's a really fun series. The last issue 1 was, I believe it was over 40 story pages. It was a big first issue. But if you're a big fan of Killjoys, Gerard Way, any of these folks, it's definitely worth picking up. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really, really liked the Killjoys comics back when they first came out, and I didn't even really have a frame of reference for them. I just I hadn't been into My Chemical Romance at the time, and I liked the comics nonetheless. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited to see these back after kind of a long break. But
you get that cool Becky Cloonan cover right there, yeah. And she drew the live series,
right? Yeah, so she does a variant cover for each issue in this one, right?
She does, yeah.
And then on this issue, we also have this variant cover, Motohiro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that one. It's so different.
It's very pop art. I like it.
Almost looks like the Christmas trees in the White House right now. I don't know if you've seen that photo.
No. Are they pink?
They're red, but I don't know. It's just where my head went. Just Google that later. Melania Christmas trees. You'll see.
Will do. Okay. So that's all the single issues we have this week, which you can win in that giveaway with the keyword Killjoys. If you've already entered, we got you.
Way better Pee Wee Hermans than we're doing right now.
Well, it's hard on Zoom because if we both yell, it's going to create a sound problem.
Sure. We might blow a speaker.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll look into getting like a custom chat icon or something where we can all put our hands up.
You should just get Paul Rubens on here.
Yeah. Oh, let's do that. Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll announce when we can make that happen, y'all. But yeah, so once we're done today, we'll announce the winner and you will get a copy of all those single issues. We went over Bill and Ted Are Doomed #3, Hellboy and the Bprd, the Seven Wives Club one-shot, Resident Alien #1, Your Ride's Here is the new series, and the new Killjoys National Anthem. Now, though, we also have some books. Lots of books to talk about, too, this week.
Books. I'm familiar with books. The first book is called Bang. So this is also a newer series by Matt Kent of Crimson Flower fame, and of Mind Management and Berserker and all the other titles that we had mentioned earlier. So this new series is kind of like his version of like Black Hammer in a way. Each character in it is a certain homage to a famous action star. So you have a James Bond-like character, a John McClane-like character, sort of an Agatha Christie spy character, a Knight Rider character. They're all together as this ensemble team trying to take down an evil organization. It's a lot of fun. Period. Sorry.
It's exclamation point.
Exclamation point, bang!
So this was that was a series that was kind of affected by COVID too, because we just had the single issues come out and like bang, I guess, rather than bam. Now we have the trade out already too.
And creative team wise, I just said Matt Kent, but co-creator artist Wilfredo Torres on each issue, and colors Neon Kim and Bill Crabtree, and Nate Pico is also on letters for this one as well. So, but it's a great series. It's really popular right now, and there's a good chance of there being more and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really fun. It was nice to see how successful it was, like how much people responded to it, even when we just first announced it. And so, although it was affected by COVID, and we had that period where everything was kind of on pause due to closures and everything else, it's good to see that it still pulled through and people were still interested in it and carried on with the other single issues. So
and Keanu Reeves is a fan.
Indeed, and he gave us a quote. Is that quote on the trade?
It says a great effed up blend of James Bond and Tintin.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
Right there.
That's actually a really good comparison right there.
It
James
is.
Bond, Tintin.
It's a good.
Just about the dog. We should get a dog in there.
Oh yeah. And you know what kind of dog also. So you had a question actually during our Killjoys coverage, Dan. Oh, and I said the word.
Ah!
um,
I'm letting Pee-wee down.
So people were wondering how you recruited Motohiro for that variant cover.
Secrets. Can't say all the secrets, but it was done.
I'm gonna guess, and this truly is just me guessing, but I feel like he's probably heard of Gerard Way, at least, and maybe the opportunity to work on a book with Gerard is enough of an enticement.
I will not say anything further without an attorney.
Without a lawyer present.
Oops, I forgot I am one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could maybe be your own, but
I'll represent myself.
Well, we have a very different sort of book also available new this week at comic shops. This is a big one. This is one of those big video game art books that I mentioned earlier that Dark Horse does and does so beautifully. Truly, our design team deserves all the kudos for putting these together, and the editors like Ian Tucker on this one who, wow, this is a lot of work to put all of this information into one tome. But for anyone who is a fan of BioWare and their many games over the years, BioWare, 25 years of game development, is a new art compendium with commentary and behind the scenes stories and stuff from all 25 years, including, you'll get to see a lot of details in here, games that were planned but never actually made, never actually saw the light of day. So you'll get to see some stuff that maybe you've never seen before and maybe has never been in the world until now, at least publicly and officially. So it's just an absolutely gorgeous book if you're a fan of Mass Effect, Dragon Age, like all of that is in here too. I know N7 Day just happened this past weekend, and we announced a lot of new Mass Effect products specifically for that, which you can see all of those on our website now too. Some really cool stuff. A set of bookends, a set of prints, art prints from our comics. They're really gorgeous. They're like Mondo style. So if you like Mondo's posters and so forth, you should check that out. They're really, really beautiful. And then also a Normandy ship model. So fans of Mass Effect have a lot of cool new stuff to enjoy. New comics collection. And then this also is, timed about as close as we could get it to N7 Day. But again, this collects all of these different games. Let me see. I don't want to spoil anything because I want you to get this and enjoy all the artwork yourself. But this one really knocks it out of the park. I mean, our video game art books are always beautiful. There's Baldur's Gate 2 that you're seeing now. That's one of my all-time favorite games. Like I grew up playing that, and it's really like you get to really dive behind the scenes and see what it was like to work on it and get to see all these cool like promo shots that they did for it back in the day, which I definitely didn't see then, and I very much enjoy seeing now. You've got art like key art, all of the storyboards, things like that, as well as all this cool commentary, like promotional art, sketches, just all kinds of great material. So if you're a fan of any of those BioWare games from the past, I very much recommend this book. It's just a beautiful collection. So that's comic shops, bookstores, wherever books are sold. I believe a digital version will be available soon as well. Typically, if you're looking for the digital version, those come out the same day as our book market release date. So it tends to be about 2 weeks after the comic shop release. Comic shops usually get them first. So, but BioWare 25 years out in comic shops this week. Super cool. Pick it up. Look through it. There's some preview pages on our website, which Gary was just flipping through there too. So you can get a little peek at what this book is full of. It's beautiful. That's my BioWare pitch. One other thing I miss about cons, actually, while I'm thinking about it, is being at cons in person. Usually at San Diego Comic-Con, we get to have the BioWare team join us in our booth. We kind of share our booth space with them. And so usually there will be like a display of some kind in our booth of BioWare. Like sometimes it's full like life-sized statues of some of their characters. One time we had a guy walking around in a full Anthem suit as well. And then last year we did a live drawing stage where folks like Ron Chin and Philip Seavey and Ben Dewey and Kat Ferris, all these great artists that we get to work with, took turns doing live drawing of different characters from both like Plants vs. Zombies and E3 characters, as well as some of the characters from Mass Effect, for example, and doing these kind of mashup art pieces, super cool. And then we'll have like the BioWare developers and writers come and do signings with us usually. And so you'll get to meet the folks who work on, say, Dragon Age, and they'll sign our Dragon Age comics. So I miss seeing everybody at the cons. But
next year.
And even if we're still virtual, maybe we can put together some virtual events like that, or do a panel or something.
Yeah.
But I miss you BioWare. Get this beautiful book. What else we got? We got more books.
Yeah, we got another big book. We have a Neil Gaiman big book.
Yes.
It's the Neil Gaiman Library Volume 2. This book collects the graphic novels The Facts in the Case of the Departure of Miss Finch. Some of these longer titles. It also features Likely Stories, which is also a collection itself of shorts, including one poem, and Harlequin Valentine and Trollbridge. So all of these are the original text written by Neil and adapted by Mark Buckingham, Michael Zulli, John Bolton, the good John Bolton, Colleen Duran, and then there's letters by Todd Klein, Nate Picos, Richard Starkings, and Jason Levine. And there's a beautiful cover of the book that's painted by Fabio Moon. So that cover actually right there in the middle is Likely Stories. That's one of the books collected in it. So
Fabio Moon did the cover art for the Volume 1 Neil Gaiman Library edition as well, and they're both just beautiful. I love his cover art.
Yeah, there should be about 3 volumes in total. Of course, if we keep doing some more books by Neil down the road, we'll just keep doing more of these big volumes. So
it was Neil's birthday yesterday. P.S.
Yeah.
So
30
happy
years young.
Yeah. Super excited. I love Neil Gaiman's works, and I have for many, many, many years. So to get to work on these adaptations of his stories is really amazing. And so also right now we have Norse mythology ongoing. It's pretty exciting. Issue 2 just came out. So we're up to issues 1 and 2 so far. Really like so excited to be adapting that one. I think it's a great book. If you haven't read it, it's Neil Gaiman's, take on Norse mythology. He knows his stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun read, and we're happy to be able to partner with one of his other publishers too, HarperCollins. They let us use some of the audiobook version of Norse mythology in our comic trailer for it, which is something I really wanted to do. And so I'm really happy that happened. And another thing that we're doing with HarperCollins right now is a giveaway. So this is on our social media. We'll continue to share it as it continues until it closes, of course. But HarperCollins and William Morrow specifically, one of their imprints, is running a giveaway of both our Neil Gaiman stuff and their new Neil Gaiman reader. So you can win a copy of the Neil Gaiman reader, this new collection of Neil Gaiman Library from Dark Horse, as well as those 2 issues of Norse mythology that are out so far. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to partner with them on that. That's on their Twitter. You can check our Twitter too. But yeah, so more to come. And the short stories in this collection, I think it's hard for me to choose a favorite, but I like the diversity of them. Did you how do you go about planning like which ones go into which volumes?
Some of it is depending on what the story is, and other factors that we were considering was just page count too. As we were trying to think of at least doing 3 volumes, wanting to at least try to get all the page counts to be kind of even, so you don't have like one book with a huge spine and some with a little spine. But we were taking that into consideration also, just what seemed to have the right fit together in regards to theme. Like a lot of these are fantasy, but also just like trying to keep some the more humorous ones together and some of the darker ones together in different volumes. So this one's a little bit more lighter than the other two. I think, yeah, it's hard to choose a favorite, but I really like the poem that's in Likely Stories. It's drawn by Paul Chadwick. It's an apocalypse poem. God, I can't think of the name right now though, but it's actually a really nice one that you can find Neil reading out loud. Sometimes it's really nice to just hear him reading his own work.
I love listening to him.
Yeah.
He read some spooky stories for Halloween.
Sorry.
What's that?
It's called The Day the Saucers Came.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you can even say yet, but do you think that Creatures of the Night will be collected?
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
It'll be collected. Hoping to do some more of Neil down the road. So always good.
You got my vote.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you he got married at my brother's house? We're at his wedding ceremony.
You did mention that.
20 years ago now.
Wow. Time flies.
Yeah.
Well, Neil Gaiman. I think I showed this off maybe on stream recently, but so the series Grendel with Matt Wagner, I have been doing some research on older issues, back issues that I got from Diana and Philip and the editors. And, in single issues, you used to have a lot of back matter, like a letters column.
Yeah.
And so in the letters, I was looking through the letters columns because I was looking for some specific info. And there is one that's just photos. It's like a photo spread, kind of old school magazine style of, I believe the issue itself is from 2000. So it was a tour that Neil did where he came through Portland and he met up with folks and just gave a little talk at Dark Horse as well as like his actual tour stop. And I forget which book he's reading from, but there's all these old pictures of Dark Horse staff like with Neil Gaiman at the offices in the 90s and like crimped hair and everything.
There's a great 90s video somewhere on YouTube that someone shared of Dark Horse in the early 90s with some staff that are still at Dark Horse, and it's just it's a very 90s video, and even the quality of the video is just 90s with just like bars going up and down like a VHS tape, and the fashion in it is very 90s too. So it might just be funny to you and I, but it was pretty cool to see.
I don't know. I think most, like, we all kind of like seeing those, what it was like then, kind of images. Everybody does look extremely 90s in these particular photos. I'll have to see it. Like we'll be doing, so the Grendel series that started just before COVID, it has been delayed by COVID, but it is coming back and it'll be a 2021 release. So more info will be coming up about that. But I hope to do some retrospectives to kind of catch people up on what Grendel is and like what the background is, because there's so much previous Grendel and it is a little bit older. So I'd like to help newer readers discover it and understand what it is and all the things that people like to compare it to now. I'm like, no, guys, like Grendel came first. I don't care what else it reminds you of, like it's, yeah.
Those omnibuses too, and those are great.
Yeah. Two omnibus volumes. But the new Grendel Devil's Odyssey will continue.
I haven't read it for a while. I just remember War Child was really big when it came out, and I loved that series too. Very different than the regular Grendel, but still equally just as good.
The War Child issues are some of the ones I have that I've been looking through from Diana. So I really appreciate having that access to the archives, so I can help put together, kind of a, what do you need to know in order to start reading Grendel now as maybe a new fan?
Maybe we should do a Grendel Essentials like we're doing with Hellboy.
I think that would be great. Yeah.
Some good ideas here between Stranger Things and Hellboy and
Waffles and pancakes.
Yeah.
Grendel pancakes.
Oh
Grendel
yeah,
waffles.
Hellboy, Stranger Things. It ends with them eating pancakes and waffles. I mean, just the rest of the story you can figure out.
Which side would the Grendels even be on? Like Team Waffles, Team Pancakes? I don't know.
I feel like in the story they're gonna be kind of sketchy of each other, kind of proposing it, and at the end, like they're sharing, like Thanksgiving style.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
It could work.
I definitely invite Grendels to my dinner parties. That's bound to go well. If you don't know what we're talking about, pick up Grendel. There are omnibus editions, like Dan mentioned. Absolutely classic. Love Grendel. So yeah. Speaking of 90s comics and 2000s and continuing again soon, Devil's Odyssey will be back. Anyway, so we do have a few final new volumes this week. If you did not know, Dark Horse does also sometimes publish prose novels. So no pictures, not comics, not graphic novels, but sometimes just words. And we're really excited and lucky to get to work with Yahtzee Croshaw, who writes humor, satire, sci-fi fantasy novels. And so we have a new one of those out this week. It is Will Destroy the Galaxy for Cash. It's already been a top pick on Amazon, which is really nice. So thank you to them for kind of highlighting that. In Will Destroy the Galaxy for Cash, we are in sort of a sci-fi universe. With the age of heroic star pilots and galactic villains completely killed by quantum teleportation, the ex-star pilot, currently named Dashford Pierce, is struggling to find his identity in a changing universe. Then, a face from his past returns and makes him an offer he can't refuse. Take part in just one small, slightly illegal heist, and not only will he have the means to start the new life he craves, but will also save his childhood hero from certain death. What could go wrong? If you need to ask, you don't know Dashford Pierce. So if you like Yahtzee Croshaw, if you've read Mogworld, Jam, Differently Morphous, this is the latest one that we're publishing from Yahtzee. They're funny, they are irreverent, and he's got quite a following. So in other kind of sad, disappointing convention news, we would have had him with us at the ALA, American Library Association convention this year, but alas, that did not happen. So hopefully we'll get to have him join us in the future for maybe some appearances. But Yahtzee's great, and if you like his style, if you like humor, sci-fi fantasy, you should definitely check it out. This is available for pre-order in all the normal places, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, but also comic shops. So check with your comic shops. We've got links on our website too. And we have a lot of new releases this week, but almost there. Dan, what else you got?
We have a new Alien versus Predator trade. This one is called Thicker Than Blood. It's written by Jeremy Barlow and drawn by Doug Wheatley. Colors by I'm losing my voice too. Colors by Rain Burrito, and the cover art's by Chun Lo. In this story, predators attack a luxury spaceship, and the two remaining survivors, a teenage girl and her synthetic companion, must either find a way off the ship for themselves or a way to boot the predators off. But mere survival becomes the issue when an alien is turned loose on the ship. Hope is lost unless bravery and love can triumph over programming. Am I reading that with like a movie trailer voice?
In a world.
That's my normal voice.
Just need some practice.
World where predators attack.
This is another one. The series got interrupted by COVID, unfortunately. And if you didn't already know, the 20th Century Fox licenses of Alien and Predator are sadly moving elsewhere at the end of the year. So after 30 plus years of publishing Aliens and Predator comics, we will not be able to do any more after this year. Which also means if you want to get this collection, you should get it now. Like, make sure you buy this book soon and any other Alien and Predator anything by Dark Horse, because once 2020 comes to a close, that's kind of the end of it. We won't be able to do any more. We can't reprint our old stuff, and we can't really speak to what might happen afterwards, since the license will no longer be with us. But that's just kind of the way that things go, unfortunately. We have lots of other licenses that we are working on now. So it's sad. We have a long history with Dark Horse, Predator, and Alien, but at least we're able to finish these. And because of COVID and that deadline looming, there just wasn't enough time to complete a couple of the series. So they were just collected in trade instead. So that's why this one doesn't have all the single issues by themselves. It's just this graphic novel collection. But again, that's the way we're able to get the full collection to fans. So you didn't get cut off like halfway through the series. So yeah, AVP. Get the last one, the last Dark Horse one. Anyway. And we're almost done. We're almost to the end of our new releases this week. So we'll draw the winner in the giveaway momentarily after I finish this last book, which is a very special book. We have talked about it before, but this week, now widely available wherever books are sold, in all the normal places you can get Dark Horse books. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, local bookstores, as well as comic shops. It is the Critical Role, The Chronicles of Xandria, The Mighty Nine, Deluxe Edition. So it's the art book that we did with Critical Role. Came out earlier this year, and it was, until now, available only exclusively through the Critical Role store, this Deluxe Edition. The standard edition has been out for a little while. What the Deluxe Edition is once again, kind of like with the Final Fantasy Works books I was talking about earlier, you get the core art book. It's the same as the standard edition, but this one is a specially designed cover that you only get in this Deluxe Edition. And it comes in this incredible package. Like, I cannot express how massive this whole package is. It truly is enormous. It's in this box. The box itself is the kind of purple and black colored thing that you'll see in the images that we're showing now. But within this very specially designed case, you get that art book with the unique cover. And you get so many extras that I have to just kind of like read through a list. So the cover itself is faux leather, foil stamped, and it comes in the decorative box, the clamshell box. That artwork is by Lauren Ipsum, who of course is someone that critters will know from the critter community. Designed by our amazing designer at Dark Horse, Cindy Caceres-Sprague. She's phenomenal. She works on pretty much all the Critical Role comics and art books. Very good at what she does. This also includes an annotated cloth map by Devin Rue, of course, the map maker, and a triptych style lithograph featuring exclusive art by Sam Hogg. So it's a big fold out art print, very cool. Character sketches of each of the Mighty Nine by Nick Robles. So that's pretty cool also. A flyer for the Flushing and Moondrop Traveling Carnival of Curiosities by Will Kirkby, another critter artist. A sumptuous invitation to the Lavish Chateau by Helen Mask. Blueprints for the Tinkertop Bolt Blaster 1000 by Fernando Furukawa, who also works with us on the Dragon Age comics, P.S. And a pamphlet of the Traveler, because of course, by Sari Giddens, and these cool like vellum flower sketches by Lauren Ipsum. So all of that stuff is packaged in this one box with the art book. The art book itself is really cool. I have the standalone, but then of course I had to get this Deluxe Edition because I am a critter myself, and I love all this stuff. But the art book, even just as a standalone, as the standard edition, is really cool for any fans of Critical Role. Beautiful artwork contributed by a host of fan artists, including very prominent names like Babs Tarr. And then it's accompanied by text by Taliesin Liam and Danny Carr, and kind of vetted by the whole cast. It's told through the voice of Beauregard, and archivist of the Cobalt Soul. And it's just sort of like a description of all the things they do and see near the beginning of the campaign. So critter fans, this is truly a collector's item that you will want to have. And if you didn't already get it from the Critical Role store, this is us making it, widely available globally, wherever books are sold, wherever you normally get Dark Horse comics and art books. So excited to bring that to fans worldwide and just kind of expand the availability of it. It's not limited, it's a deluxe, but I wouldn't, wait forever. If this is something you want to get I would act pretty soon. And there's holidays coming up, so maybe this is a good gift for any critters in your life. And we're showing just images today on stream. Rachel Roberts, the editor, and I also did a stream a while back when this first came out, and she kind of showcased it. But we'll do more of a true unboxing coming up later this month, because we have some other Critical Role releases. We have the new Library Edition collection coming out later in November. And so look for an announcement coming very soon. We'll have some guests on stream, and we will do more of a true unboxing, so you can see all of these cool things that come in the Deluxe Edition package. So more to come on that. But we wanted to give you a little preview today, and we'll be sharing more on our social media throughout the week as well. So very cool for Critical Role fans. And that, this has been a long stream so far for us, because we have a lot of new releases and all those announcements. But we're going to draw a winner in our giveaway now, because that concludes all of those new releases. So let's see, who shall we award the single issues? It is NMM 1972. Congratulations, you have won today's giveaway of all the single issues. Keyword Killjoys. Ah! And I think that pretty much rounds us out. All you need to do to claim your prize, by the way, is send us a whisper here on Twitch. That's a private message. If you don't know how to do that, don't worry about it. We will ping you if we don't see a message from you coming up pretty soon. And then we'll coordinate how to get your prize to you. And yeah, that wraps up our new releases, our announcements. You can see everything that we talked about today at darkhorse.com, our website, also on our social media. We're very active on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, of course, as well as Pinterest, the old school Pinterest. But for news and announcements and things, if you're on Twitter, that's definitely the place to catch us. That's about it, unless anybody has any final questions for us. And I want to thank Dan for coming on and talking about all these comics with me.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Now that we've talked ourselves dry. So we will be back every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do the New Comic Book Day rundown stream, where we do this and we show you what is new and our new announcements. Or we often do have special guests. So whenever we have special guests, we'll make a big announcement and let you know on social media, Twitch, and on our website. So stay tuned for more to come up very soon. And in the meantime, we will sign off. Thanks again, Dan.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Go to your comic shops and get all these cool new comics we just talked about. We will see you next time.
Who are you?
I'm Harry Vanderspiegel. I'm a doctor. You don't have anything to worry about. I'm not an alien.
All right, look, that's one creepy son of a bitch, right?
It's okay for people to be a little bit different sometimes.
This is some bullshit.